Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the channel. Before we start, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Your support helps us continue bringing you these amazing stories. Now, let's dive into today's episode of Jujutsu Kaisen and follow the tale of the death game. Last time, we witnessed the battle between Megumi and Reggie. Each of them unleashed everything they had, trying to deceive the other. In the end, victory went to Megumi, who kept his secret weapon hidden until the very last moment to ensure his win. We then moved to the second colony, where 4 powerful individuals were present, and the situation was intense. That was until Yuta appeared and killed one of them. As the story continues, Yuta finishes off Droff, while Ryo and Taka, observing the scene, notice that something has changed. They confirm with Kagane that Droff has been killed, and immediately deduce that Yuta is responsible, as his points have increased. Yuta reassures the ordinary people he saved that the path is safe and they can now proceed. He instructs them to move toward the end of the colony to exit safely. When he notices that they are exhausted, he tells them to rest at the stadium once controlled by Droff. Then they continue their journey. Suddenly, a buzzing sound is heard. Everyone is startled, except for Yuta, who instructs them to flee to the stadium immediately. From afar, he spots someone running in terror, chased by a sea of cockroaches. Yuta grabs his hand to pull him to safety, but the man is delayed as the cockroaches literally split him in half and emerge from every part of his body, attacking Yuta. Yuta deflects the attack at the last moment, surprised by the overwhelming strength of the cockroaches. They then change target, pursuing the fleeing people. Yuta instructs Rika to destroy the bridge above them, stopping their advance. With a strike from his sword, he eliminates what remains of the cockroaches. When Kuroshi appears, Yuta asks Kagane if he is a player. Kagane provides the available information. Kuroshi had been in hibernation due to Droff, his worst adversary and greatest threat. Additionally, Kuroshi has an insatiable appetite and produces cockroaches in massive quantities. Since he has just awakened, he is extremely hungry. Yuta disrupted his meal, so he instinctively decides to eat him. At the same time, Yuta considers the limited resources in the colonies. He thinks it necessary to add a rule allowing people to exit. Players like Droff and Kuroshi possess long-range techniques and attack indiscriminately, so they must be stopped immediately. Communication with other colonies is needed in case dangerous individuals are present. Yuta plans to add 2 new rules beyond those suggested by Megumi. Exhausted from the Shibuya battle, he decides to take responsibility himself, gather the 400 points needed, and personally defeat Kinjiko, so Gojo would not have to kill his friend again. On the other side, Kuroshi draws his weapon, a magical sword that blends life and death. He immediately attacks Yuta fiercely. But Yuta is not weak, he is the strongest after Gojo Satoru. He easily dodges Kuroshi's attack and severs the arm holding the sword. Before Kuroshi can heal or use techniques, Yuta plunges his sword into the severed arm, nullifying it completely. He then strikes with the back of his hand, sending Kuroshi flying to the end of the path. Yuta pursues and, after several maneuvers, reaches the bridge and swings his sword with full force at Kuroshi's head. Surprisingly, Kuroshi survives the lethal strike by sacrificing his arms with the help of his swarm of cockroaches. He rides the insects, while Yuta pauses to consider his next move, knowing he is under observation from powerful players, Ryo and Taka. Since Kuroshi is still alive, Yuta could use the same move as before to inject reverse energy and finish him. However, he does not want the observers to learn his techniques. Rika is occupied protecting civilians, leaving Yuta no choice but to find another way to defeat Kuroshi without using his techniques or Rika's help. Kuroshi interrupts Yuta, asking why he obstructs his path and wants to kill them. Yuta responds that he wants to ask him the same question. Kuroshi explains that he loves the taste of iron in blood, speaking incoherently. At the end of his words, 2 insects appear and circle Yuta. Yuta escapes the vortex, cutting the insects behind him without hesitation, their blood splattering on his face. Kuroshi seizes the opportunity to attack after Yuta retrieves his sword. Yuta deflects the strike, but the weapon emits strange projectiles that hit his shoulder. He steps back, bleeding, when cockroach-like insects begin emerging from the wound. Kuroshi exploits his distraction and strikes Yuta in the abdomen, knocking him to the ground. Ryo and Taka think the battle is over, and that Kuroshi will rest and eat. However, Yuta suddenly grabs Kuroshi's head, consumes his face literally, unleashes a wave of reverse energy that destroys his body, and simultaneously heals himself. He asks Kagami to add 5 points to his score. As Yuta catches his breath, Taka appears beside him and attacks directly. Her strikes are bizarre, bending space itself. Yuta's arm contorts unnaturally but returns to normal. He realizes her ability manipulates space without causing direct harm. She explains she can transform the sky into a manipulable surface, making her attacks unpredictable. Ryo then launches a violent attack, shaking the area. His power is enormous, and his attacks resemble missiles. Yuta identifies him as the greatest threat and charges forward. The battle escalates, with each strike carrying immense energy. Ryo speaks of his lifelong hunger for battle and dissatisfaction. The fight becomes a three-way battle between Yuta, Ryo, and Taka. Yuta summons Rika, and upon her arrival, his strength increases tremendously for 5 minutes. He uses multiple weapons, various techniques, and even speech techniques to immobilize his enemies. Rika engages Taka while Yuta focuses on Ryo. Taka reveals her past. She was a tool of her clan and was burdened with a crime she did not commit. Since then, she fights only for herself. The battle reaches its climax as all three use their domains simultaneously. Suddenly, Kuroshi returns as a clone, causing the domains to collapse. The fight continues. Kuroshi is defeated again, leaving Yuta and Ryo. The battle becomes raw power against raw power. At a critical moment, Yuta reflects Ryo's attack using Taka's ability. Ryo realizes Yuta's ability is cloning, but it is too late. The 5 minutes end. Yuta's power weakens, but Ryo gradually feels satiated. In the end, Ryo falls, but Yuta spares his life. Yuta collects his points and advances closer to his goal. As Yuta departs, he recalls Taka's words, "Those whose strength surpasses a certain limit think only of themselves and act as walking disasters upon this earth."